Welcome. Take It Up with Jessica Lee. I'm here with Dvir Shapira, who is the VP of Product Management at Imperva.
Hi.
Hi, how are you, Dvir?
Good, very good. Thank you.
Exciting time here for you. Your company is now privately owned. A lot of
Yes.
initiatives, a lot of changes. I wanted to get your thoughts on, well, what's the new vision and the strategy? Can you share with us, please?
Sure. So Imperva had traditionally been a leader in two different spaces. One is application security, where we've been the leader in the Magic Quadrant for 6 years in a row. So we've traditionally led this space. And the other one is data security, where we protect databases against insider breaches and attacks. And when our new CEO, he's not so new anymore, he stepped into his role about 2 years ago. When he came in, he had a vision of combining both sides of the house, both application and data security, to generate more value for our customers, from our unique position in the market as a vendor for both application and data security.
And you go after large enterprises with complex
Yes,
environments.
Imperva has traditionally been very focused on the Fortune 1000 and a lot of the bigger companies. I would even say a lot of the heavily regulated companies, such as banks, financial institutions, healthcare providers. Many of them use Imperva products because they need the best security. And it also makes it pretty easy, when compliance is considered, when you are using the products that are being considered as the best ones in the world.
Right.
The conversation becomes easier, and so a lot of them will be using Imperva products across the board, both to protect their applications, but also to protect their databases.
Right. Okay, so I think that in the security space, there's no one vendor. I think a lot of the security officers are managing multiple tools.
Yes.
Working with partners is very important for you then.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that your standard enterprise customer is going to be using dozens, if not more, of different security products, just security products. I'm not even talking about IT products. It can get to hundreds of different products. And, becoming part of an ecosystem where you integrate as much as possible seamlessly into their IT environments is something that is very important for our customers, and it's a major consideration for them in adopting new products. Specifically, the security space is very fragmented. There's a lot of point solutions, and having to work with dozens of different solutions separately, if they don't integrate well with each other, it requires a lot of effort. And nowadays, most of those, in many of those organizations, the security teams are highly understaffed, and they're looking for ways to make it easier for them to manage their overall security, estate, and being able to partner with as many other vendors as possible makes it easier for them.
So what are the categories of integration that you often hear customers ask for? Like databases, cloud provider. Can you share some of the key categories of technology you must integrate with?
Sure. So I would say, on the data security side of the house, since we are protecting databases, the integration with, and the partnership with the, database providers is a major requirement on our customers' part. And it starts with those traditional database providers such as Oracle and IBM and others, but it's also new emerging big data providers such as MongoDB or Teradata or
AWS,
Cloudera, and then the cloud providers. I mean, RDS is now a major player in the database space, and the fact that we're partnering with AWS and we're working together with them so that our products can work as much as possible seamlessly with AWS RDS is something that's very important for our customers. So this is on the data security side, but on the app security side, we also have a lot of partnerships that make a difference to our customers, such as being able to integrate into SIEMs, Splunk, and ArcSight, and again, IBM. There's so many other security products that are being fed into those SIEMs, and people want to have all of their security estate being integrated with the SIEM and feeding into those SIEMs. So this is a major consideration for our customers.
What about the network players, like data center network providers?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say that is more on the DDoS protection side of the house. So we protect our customers against the largest and most sophisticated denial of service attacks. And some of those large, carriers or, connectivity providers, hosting providers, they see this as part of their offering to their customers, and they're looking at us to be able to help them protect their own customers, mostly their enterprise customers, against those denial of service attacks. And we've been working with some of those large carriers and hosting providers to support them in protecting their own customers.
So most of your time is not just product management, but really technology partner management.
Yeah. So after leading, different product management teams at Imperva throughout the years, recently I took over the partnerships team within product management, and I'm leading all of those efforts in partnering with other technology vendors and cloud providers, which is fascinating. And this can really move the needle for Imperva because, as I mentioned, that's what our customers are expecting us to do. And I see this resonating with customers, and it solves a real problem for our customer.
What is the product strategy of that you're doing? Why did you buy Distill Networks and Previty?
And Previty.
What's the vision that you're trying to meet here?
So, firstly, I would say both Previty and Distill are leaders in their respective spaces. Both those spaces are emerging spaces in application security. So if Imperva had traditionally been the leader in application security, there's new types of attacks that are emerging, and there's new types of companies that are working to be able to protect against those types of attacks. And Distill Networks is a good example. They are the leader in bot protection. And bots and automated attacks are becoming a major threat to any organization. And we felt like we had to be the leaders in this space. And bot protection, it's still mostly, I would say, greenfield space. A lot of companies are looking for solutions. Not a lot of good solutions out there. We've actually looked into dozens of different companies in this space, and we chose Distill based on their technology, based on their, how customers regard their products compared to other products in the marketplace. We thought that having Distill as, part of Imperva is going to take us, is going to help us immediately become the leaders in bot protection. And then we have a lot of ideas how we can take what Distill have done and improve it even further, so that in 1 or 2 years from now we can really leapfrog everyone else. And so that's a good example. And by the way, Previty is kind of similar because they are the leaders in something that's called RASP, which is, sort of a new version of a WAF, a different type of a WAF. A WAF is an application security product that sits in front of your applications, in front of your servers, A RASP is a web application firewall that sits inside of your code. So it's a piece of code that you put inside of your application, and it protects it from within and not from the outside.
Ah, interesting.
So, and they are the leaders in this space, and we thought that this would give our customers a lot of flexibility in terms of how they want to deploy Imperva products in front or inside of their applications. Imperva, traditionally had appliance-based hardware appliances that sat in front of the customer's web application servers in the data center and protected them against threats. Then, about 10 years ago, we launched our SaaS-based product, which was called initially Incapsula. Now it's called the Imperva Cloud Application Security product, which is a SaaS product in the cloud that protects your applications from the cloud. So all of the traffic goes to the cloud, we inspect it, we clean it up, and then we send it back to your web servers. So we're giving our customers more options. They can use hardware appliances or virtual appliances, but they can also use our cloud as a way to protect their web application servers. And now we're giving them a third option, which is just put a piece of code inside of your application and protect it against threats. So, and I'm a big believer in combining all of them together so that customers, when you look at your average enterprise customer, they have very complex environments. They have some stuff that's very, legacy applications that have been coded 15 years ago. Nobody even remembers, who built those applications, and at the same time they're building, cutting edge stuff on the cloud. So they have lots of different use cases, and giving them this flexibility of using different types of deployments to protect those applications is something that our customers appreciate.
Yeah, I think so. So people want choices and options because no one solution fits all scenarios.
Absolutely.
So I think that's a good point there. Great strategy.
And I think and I think Imperva is going to keep doing that. I mean, we're going to keep buying companies that are going to be leaders in their respective spaces. And if we consider those spaces strategic for Imperva. And this sort of takes me to, having a conversation around why we decided to buy them rather than build it ourselves. And I think that this is a major consideration, as part of putting together a product strategy is, deciding on what you're going to build, what you're going to buy, and what you're going to partner for. And I think that, product managers, I've seen it in smaller companies where people want to build everything themselves. In startups and small companies, it makes sense. But as you grow, and Imperva is a company of over 1,000 employees, as you grow, you gotta focus. You realize that trying to do everything means that you're not gonna do it very well.
Plus, there's that time to market, right? When you buy, you have immediate technology and people.
Yes. Time to market is a major consideration, and I think again it's a matter of both focus and time to market. Again, there's some things that we want to build ourselves because they're very close to our core, and we want to maintain. We have some IP leadership there, and we want to maintain it. But things that are close to our core, but not necessarily, in the heart of what we do, and we want to move fast there, that's a good opportunity to buy, and that's what we did with Distill and Privity. I mean, we had our own technology for bot protection, but it wasn't our core. It was very adjacent to our core, but it wasn't our core, and we just couldn't focus on that. And in order for us to be the leaders in that space, we wanted to acquire the leaders, and then, it sort of immediately took us to, a place where we are leading the pack now, and now we can, from this point on, just leapfrog everyone else because we have a better starting point.
Okay, what are you thinking of adding to your portfolio then? What's next?
It's a good question. There's a lot of different companies that we're looking at, and you know, we sort of neglected our data security side of the house with regards to acquisition. So it might be something on that front. There's a lot of interesting startups. I think that you know, there's obviously a huge tectonic shift that's taking place in IT right now with cloud migration and the public clouds, right? And this opens up a lot of opportunities. And we've seen in the past few months some of the major players in our space or adjacent spaces making moves towards and acquiring actually startups in that space of protecting, workloads on the cloud. Palo Alto had made some acquisitions in that space. I think that Checkpoint as well. So some of the large players in adjacent spaces to ours are making moves with regards to cloud workloads and native cloud security. I think this is also a very appealing space, and there's a lot of innovation going on there and a lot of startups that are emerging. So that might be something that we'll look into. And again, it might be something that's more connected to data security. A lot of, again, cloud migration opens up opportunities there as well. I mean, more and more customers are moving their databases. Even the largest enterprises, most regulated enterprises in the world, are now moving a lot of data to the cloud, to RDS, and also to GCP and Azure. And we're seeing it all over the place. I mean, there's some of our largest, customers are moving fast in that regard, and that is something that we will definitely consider.
Excellent. Well, we look forward to hearing more news.
Sure.
Come back and talk about it when you have another acquisition.
Absolutely.
Well, it's been a pleasure to have you on the show, Dvir, to talk about security, application security, data security, and what's happening at Imperva.
Happy to be here.
There you have it, folks. Take it up with Jessica Lee, Dvir Shapira from Imperva.